Welcome back to the Awakening Her podcast. This is day one of a special 3-part series called Purpose Uncovered. So in day one, in part one, we are looking at your human gifts. So this was recorded live on Instagram. It's got the live feel. If you hear me talking to random people, that's what's up. But in this one, as I mentioned, we're talking about your human gifts. So the key to your success, the key to your abundance, and the gift that you are here to share with the world. So we're looking at the message that you feel passionate about to share. We're looking at your actual skills, your talents, your history, what life has taught you. We're bringing all of this stuff together to really start to look at your purpose from a different angle, the medicine that you are here to share. So if you have a business already, this becomes the secret sauce. This becomes what sets you apart, what makes you unique, what helps you to attract aligned clients. If you don't yet have a business, but you're really close to creating one or looking for clarity on that, this is where you're going to want to look. The unique medicine that flows through you, the gifts, the message that you are here to share with the world, to help Earth, to shine, to create abundance, to create freedom, to create an impact. This is what we were talking about today in day one. So I'm really excited you're here. If you're looking to go deeper and want my support, I've just opened the doors, cracked the doors open to the Soulpreneur Mastermind. And it's actually just a 14-day deep dive, intimate container. It's going to be a very small group. I'm going to give you a social media / website audit. We're going to go into aligned strategy, client attraction, getting clear on your business, getting clear on your next steps. Basically, whatever you're going through, we're going to move you forward in your business. And for the time of this live event, this 14-day experience, complete with trainings and my personal support, is only $89. Like, what? It's crazy. I can't wait to go into this experience with a small group of driven seekers. We'll support each other in our businesses. We will follow each other, root each other on, and really learn some beautiful aligned energy and strategy to move your business forward. So if you want to dive into that, the link for that again is below as well. That's called the Soulpreneur Mastermind. It's like a mini mastermind. It's going to be so fun, so powerful. I can't wait to get my eyes all over your business. And if you wanted to officially register for this event, of course, it is free, Purpose Uncovered. But if you want to officially register, I will send you over workbooks and a free meditation to really get you going, to boost your magnetism. I can't wait to give you that. So without any more fluff, no more further ados, we are going to dive into Purpose Uncovered Day 1. Hello. How's it going? Welcome to Purpose Uncovered. We are in day one, the first training. I am so excited to get started here. I am posting this up on the Awakening Her podcast. So anybody that's listening to the pod, hey, what's up? Hey, how's it going? I'm also live on Instagram. Hello. So excited to be here today to go through all of this. I'm so excited you're joining me. Hello. Just a reminder, anyone that pops in live, if you participate today and tomorrow and the day 3, every time you participate, you're entered in a draw to win a business boost session. So come on in, let me know how you're doing. I would love to get to know you. We're going to dive in right away. I'm not going to go into long stories and long tangents. We have a lot to cover in these 3 days. And today is day 1 where we're looking at the human gifts. We're looking at your medicine, which is your key to helping others. Hello, my love. Your key to abundance, your key to success in your business or your business to be, basically your medicine. We're going to dive into that today, the human gifts, and we've got some good things for you. Let's dive into day 1. I am so excited to be here. If I don't know you, hey, my name is Talia. I've actually been an entrepreneur for over 10 years. I've been over 8 years in the online space, and I've been helping entrepreneurs now for over 5 years. So those 10 years of business, I started out in nutrition consulting, but from the beginning, it's been me. It's been me getting my own clients, me choosing my rates, me choosing how I put my services out into the world. And even when I was doing nutrition training, I was using my gifts. I was using my experience. I had been through an eating disorder, and I had learned how to heal that with my intuition. with self-development, with spiritual development, with intuitive development, and getting closer to my guides and closer to my soul. And I ended up healing my own eating disorder. So after that, I went to school, I got educated as a nutrition consultant and started helping people there. That was like over 10 years ago. It's crazy. But that's how I've always been. And if you're tuning in, you may be the same. You overcome something and then you want to help others. You overcome something, you learn how to love yourself more deeply. You learn how to heal after a divorce. You might learn how to move through a condition in your body, an ailment. Maybe it's learning how to love yourself. Maybe it's learning inner child healing, whatever it is. Let me know, drop an emoji if you can relate to this. You go through something, you heal, you overcome, and then you want to help others. That is a classic old soul symptom or side effect, we'll call it. So we're going to get into that a little bit today. But first, I just wanted to say I have over 10 years in business, and I'm going to share so much with you today about what actually ended up helping me to turn on the magnetism. Now I have a podcast with over 200,000 downloads. We've just passed 200,000. So exciting. And as I say, I just have a lot of experience in business, particularly the online space. And it's always been me coming from my gifts. I don't mean that like I was never trained how to help people in that way. Of course, I've taken courses and different things, but it's come from my soul. So in this Purpose Uncovered, we're going to talk about your unique medicine and your unique medicine that is here to help the world. And particularly those of you in business, this is where we truly start attracting clients. This is where our offers are so aligned and feel so juicy that clients want to buy from us, and not only buy from us, they want to experience our medicine. And we are going to touch on that over and over throughout this, because having a business isn't about getting people to buy. That makes me feel just like icky. It's not about getting clients. It's about being in your magnetism, being in your gifts, being a lighthouse. And there's a great quote that I don't know who said it. I heard it way back, but the lighthouse doesn't run around the island looking for boats to save. It just is the light. And you, my friend, are a lighthouse. And as we clear our channel and kind of brush off the dusty bits of the light, and our light shines so bright, we don't have to run around the island looking for boats to save. We don't have to try to get clients endlessly, like we're trying to catch them with like a net or something. We just need to tune into our light, into our natural gifts. We need to learn a little bit of strategy to get ourselves out there, post on social media, have some offers, but mostly it's about being that light, turning on your magnetism and watching how the people that are meant for your medicine, the people that need to learn self-love, the people that need to learn nutrition, they need to learn energy healing, whatever it is that you're here to help people with, they will come to you. Yes, we need to get out there. Of course, I post on Instagram. I am very consistent in my podcast and all that, but I also freaking love it. Like, this is my job and I love it. So I don't look at the podcast as like, oh, I have to record, like literally love it to the point where I'm doing courses via audio private podcast now because I love it so much. So that's what we're going to do for you, is make sure you love what you're doing, make sure your medicine is shining. And over these 3 days, the first one today is about connecting with your human gifts, how you're here to impact the world. Day 2 is about your soul's desires, what your soul sees for you, what your deep desires are. Have you seen yourself writing a book? Do you long to travel the world or make a big difference in some way? We're going to tune into those deeper desires. And day 3, we're bringing it all together. So drop me an emoji if you are here, if you are excited. I am so happy that you guys are joining me, and let's just dive in. So ultimately here, I'm going to talk about our purpose first in a general sense, because this is something I did not understand for a long time. Number one, your purpose is not something that is just fixed, like one thing. My business evolves and changes. I teach intuition, and then I teach quantum manifestation, and then I'm, supporting soulpreneurs. And who you are is the magic, is the gift. Spoiler alert, who you are is already the gift. Who you are is the purpose. And we learn how to have a message. We learn how to get that thing, that natural gift out into the world in a certain way. So maybe you'd like to write a blog, write a book, be a mentor, be a coach. Maybe you do intuitive readings. Maybe you help people with nutrition or energy healing or anything else. That is the unique avenue that you choose to express that gift, but you are the actual gift. So for our purpose, ultimately, I just want to go big for a second because this is what I like to do. Ultimately, our purpose, the whole reason why we're here in Earth School, here on Earth as a human right now, that ultimate purpose is to evolve and grow and reach for higher levels of consciousness. Basically, our soul comes on this journey to remember more of who we truly are. So we start off doing lots of lifetimes as a younger soul where we don't remember that magic. We don't have that awareness of who we truly are. And as we evolve as a soul and become an older soul, we do remember more of the magic, more of this co-creative experience. We are aware of the bigger layers of life. We're interested in things like intuition and maybe astrology or why we're here. It's that deeper stuff as we become old souls. That's why there's people in your life, no matter how many Louise Hay books you give them, they will never read them. And that's not a personal dig at you. It's not, don't even let it frustrate you because they're just typically younger souls and they're not interested in the same stuff that we are as older souls. So as a soul, you're here to evolve and grow and eventually become an old soul. By the time you become an old soul, you have grown. You have hundreds of years or of lifetimes that you have learned, that you have wisdom, things you've trialed and errored, lifetimes that have gone well, lifetimes that have not gone well. You've been it all. You've been a man, you've been a woman, you've, died young, died old. You've been through so much as a soul that you have so much wisdom deep within you in your now cells, but in the spirit of who you are. So by the time you become an old soul, written into the contract, if you choose so, is to help others. It doesn't mean that everybody is destined to have a business because entrepreneurship calls you or it doesn't. But either way, you are here with wisdom in you to help others. And we're going to talk about that today, your human gifts. So in your business, in the way you help others, this is your medicine. This is your difference. This is what makes you unique. This is your unique imprint to leave on the world. That's what we're talking about today as a human this time. So as you become an older soul, you're drawn to help others. You may have lost a bunch of weight or become healthier and you want to help your friend. You want to help your sister. You want to help, if someone's asking you, what did you do? You want to help them. Maybe like I've mentioned these other examples of things you've overcome, you want to help others. You basically couldn't not. Does anybody relate to that? Let me know. It's like we can't help but help others. As soon as we learn something or get really passionate about something, we're sending our friends podcast links and we're, seeking out like-minded people. That becomes the journey of the old soul. And that's why I say soulpreneur, because you are an entrepreneur that is helping people based on your soul gifts. So as we become old souls, we desire to help others, and we truly start to recognize the magic in and the fulfillment that we feel deep down when we become a lighthouse. And when I just say lighthouse, I just mean we have a light to share, right? We have a light to share within, we are the light. And we start to feel that fulfillment when we truly help somebody. Might be in a business, might be in our community, our kids, when we see a pattern being broken because we're doing something different with our kids than what was given to us. That is fulfilling. There's something deeply fulfilling about that. Let me know if you can relate, because as an old soul, that's literally what we're here to do. So every time in my business in the last 10 years that I've become disconnected from my medicine, that is when my income dips. That is when the business feels stagnant. That's when I get either frustrated or resentful or, whatever. It's because I'm disconnected from my medicine. And I'm looking at it like, what should I do? How do I gain followers? Like I said, how do I get clients, right? And that was the beginning of my business. I'm like, okay, I got to get clients. And it was all just strategy, which is super important. We need an aligned, very simple strategy. But what I realized is I am the gift. I am the magic. When I look after myself, my gifts start to shine. When I'm allowed to be fully expressed, when I don't hold back, that's when my gifts truly shine. And that's when I'm more magnetic. And that's when the good shit comes through me. And that's when I make a bigger impact. And that's also the key to the abundance. the abundance, the success, the selling of the things, the filling programs, all of that stuff. So when you feel a calling to help other people, that is for a reason. And if you've been wanting to further clarify your unique gifts that you have to offer the world, this is exactly what we're doing, and you're totally in the right place, and it's going to be so fun and expansive. So again, anybody joining me, if you want to officially register for this event, of course it's free, but if you want to officially register, I'm going to send you over workbooks as soon as we're done, plus a free meditation, plus you're also entered in a draw to win a business boost session if you come live and participate. That's going to be so fun. I also have a 14-day soulpreneur mini mastermind starting. You guys, this is insane. And anybody that officially registers gets first chance at it. There's very limited spots. It's just a 14-day deep dive where I'm going to personally give you an audit, my eyes and ears all over your business. We're going to go through client attraction, making sure you're totally aligned, that you're creating offers that are aligned so that your clients feel comfortable to buy and excited. We're going to talk about branding. We're talking about magnetism, your purpose. We're going to go through it all. We're going to give you a beautiful business boost over these 14 days. So you can check your email for the link for that. That link is nowhere else out yet. So if you want to be one of the first in, I'm going to cap it into just a small group. Then definitely join in that. And that is in the link in the email. So, okay. So you're feeling called to help people. This is because you're an old soul. And your unique medicine is based on what you've experienced in this life, your unique gifts and talents, and your passion. And if you do decide to get the workbook, I have is it a Venn diagram? Is that what it's called? When it has like all the circles and they overlap and it really shows you visually, but I'm also going to explain it here. So when you align your gifts with your passions, with your talents, with your experience, this is truly where you get to help people. And I want you to think about if you hired a relationship coach and maybe it was for, moving on after a divorce in your 50s. And this is what this coach did. They help women in their 50s to navigate life after divorce. And you hire this person and you learn that not only have they never been divorced, that they've never even been married. And then you find out they're 30 years old. And you would look at it and kind of go like, okay, like, is that what you're best to help people with? If you hired a money coach that is teaching about healing money problems and healing money traumas, but you look at them and they're 25 years old and their parents are millionaires and they've never had to work a day in their life, you're going to kind of look at them and go like, okay, are you the best to teach about this, right? So often as soulpreneurs, we have imposter syndrome. We doubt ourselves. We are like, who am I to teach this? Who am I to help people with this? There's so many other people doing what I do, right? But what you've been through gives you the cred. Of course, the courses you've taken, if you have certifications and all that stuff, it gives you cred too. But your actual life experience in Earth School, plus all the experience from your previous lives that you're not even consciously always aware of, those are your medicine. And if you hired some kid to help you with money manifestation that was literally given all their money and was never had to work a day in their life or overcome anything, their teachings, I feel, let me know what you think, would fall flat. They wouldn't really have the grit, right? When I was helping people overcome eating disorders and body image issues by navigating and leaning into intuitive eating and natural health, I had literally lived that. I'd been in an eating disorder for over a decade and healed it after trying therapy and after trying all these things, which I don't knock at all. There's definitely therapy's golden, but it just didn't work for me with that. It was intuitive eating. It was spiritual development. It was soul development. It was self-growth. It was healing work that actually helped me to overcome that. And then I could stand there and teach others. When they're telling me how awful they feel in their body or how frustrated they are, I can literally go, I get you. That's what makes you you. That's what makes your teachings, your medicine potent. When you're talking to a friend and you're giving the best ass advice, it's because you're wise. You've been through a lot. You've learned a lot. So often we do get this imposter syndrome, and there's so many other coaches out there and there's so many other energy healers out there, but you have unique medicine. You know how many people, when I was just doing manifestation, how many people were teaching manifestation out there? But I'm not manifestation babe. I'm not those other teachers. And I love her and I love the other teachers, and we all have unique teachings. But I say it in my own way. I use examples that are from my life, my clients' lives. It's mine, right? It's how I describe it. And you can read self-help books, and someone like Jen Sincero is going to have a very different tone than like Deepak Chopra or Gary Vee or, Gabby Bernstein or whatever. Everybody has unique medicine. So right now, I just want you to know, whether you have a business or not, you have unique medicine that only you have. Because it is when we combine our talents, our gifts, our experience, our passions, our knowledge, our skills, that's what comes together in the middle to make you fucking potent, to make you magnetic, which does translate to sales, to clients, to people actually being moved and helped by your work. So it's really, really exciting. And in your business, when you become aligned with those gifts, that's when things start taking off. That's when it's less of a struggle. That's when it's easier to fill spots. You're having amazing connection. Like, I feel I could legitimately be friends with my clients. Like, all my clients, I'm like, at one time or another, I'm like, damn, I just want to sit and like sip tea and talk about the universe with you, because I attract the most awesome clients because I'm me. And when I was less confident, when I was more concerned about like, ooh, what should I be? I would attract clients that are beautiful souls, but they were disempowered. And that's something I don't have the time to get into in Purpose Uncovered. But with my one-on-one clients, my soulpreneur clients, we're talking about attracting empowered clients, attracting people that are looking for solutions, attracting people who right now are looking for what you have. They're looking for energy healing. They're looking for nutrition help. They're looking for fitness help. They're looking for life coaching. They're looking for business coaching. They're actively looking for it. That's who you want to attract. So you learn to speak to that person. Not just, are you at the rock bottom of the world and like desperate to get out of it? That might be also someone that could benefit from a meditation or some of your services. But when we're talking like really scaling your business, really helping a lot of people, we want to attract people that are freaking ready. Because let me know, drop an emoji if you're in a business and you know what I'm talking about. When you attract people who are freaking ready and are just like soaking it up and jamming and like doing the things that you're suggesting and really moving themselves forward, and they look at you as a help, that is a really fun person to work with. And those are the people that get the best results because they're in an empowered state. So that's just a nugget on the side of who we want to attract. Okay. So we're going to go into the first exercise here when we are uncovering. Oh, I'm just going to read this comment for a second. I find when engaged in conversation with other mediums, and these are the most wonderful. Yes, exactly. I love my intuitive and medium clients. A lot of times I notice I attract people that aren't fully aware of their gifts. So because I'm a channel as well, and as we're talking, I'm like, you can hear spirit, can't you? I've had a client recently, I don't know if he's here right now, but he's like, yeah, actually, how the hell do you know that? I'm like, I'm intuitive, but I know you've got gifts. He's like, I wasn't going to say anything. I'm like, you're crazy intuitive. And so many of my clients, they don't even realize how intuitive they are. But I love those conversations. And I often think with my clients, I would hire you for what you do. Like, I have clients right now that help you release trapped emotion, intuitive channeled readings. I have clients that are doing nutrition, clients that are helping other people with online sales. There's all sorts of things. And I'm like, maybe I'll hire you after this, because we are all here to share our gift. And I'm not better than my clients in any way. I just have certain things to offer, and then they have certain things to offer that I'm like, can I pick your brain real quick about, whatever, some sort of like whatever it is that they offer, because they're so fun. So yeah, I love having the conversations with those clients. You really do end up attracting people that, of course, there's a professional level. You're not actually besties with all your clients. You can figure that out. But people that you genuinely love and respect and you could hang out with. And that's just the most fun part too. So, okay. So our first exercise, when we are uncovering our human gifts, and I would love anyone that's here live that wants to participate, I want to see what comes out of you here. So if you have a business, or if you don't have a business and you're just super curious, I'm excited you're here either way. I want to ask you, what are you convinced? And I just want to know your first answer. What are you convinced that the world needs more of, or that we need more of something on the planet? So when you think about that, I'm going to give you a couple like prompts, a couple things. So the world is kind of, in some ways we're doing good. In some ways it's going to shit. Let's just be real. We're in a tough place right now in the world, right? So what do you think, without getting like political and like we need less of this, but what does the world need? You might have a calling deep down to go, oh my God, right now humans need more spiritual connection. They need to know about the malleable nature of this reality and manifestation, or inner child healing, or nutrition. People need to understand the power of nutrition and eating, certain foods. People need to know that hormones control everything. People need to know of oneness mentality. People need to meditate more. So there's something in you that you almost want to scream from the rooftops and be like, listen, effers, you guys could all change your life if you realize this. I've had clients that do inner child healing and they're just so passionate. I've had this one client was telling me, like, everybody, as we're going around life, we're all interacting with our wounds, and like relationships are like our wounds dancing, which I totally agree for the most part until we do this work. That's like what's happening. And she could just see it so clearly. And she'd be like, don't you guys see? Like, you're not actually arguing over this in your relationship. It's both of your inner child wounds. And if you both were like aware, that's the secret to a harmonious relationship. She was so passionate. So whether it's more environmental care or it's, nurturing your inner world, doing your own self-work, having a spiritual connection, having a daily practice, loving yourself, I want you to really think about what we need more of on this planet. But it's something that burns through you. It's not just your sort of loose opinion that might change tomorrow. It's like passionately something that you want to talk about, you want to say. If you already have a business, this is probably going to be part of what your business message is. If not, I'm going to help you make it be your message. The world needs to remember that love is the universal tool we all should employ to solve problems and situations. Oh my goodness, yes. Like, actually, my love, if everybody understood the frequency of love and treating each other and ourselves with love, and how, as you say, to solve problems, imagine how different life would be. I feel that as an empath. I help a lot of empaths, so often we're trying to even out our gifts and actually turn down sometimes the sensitivity so it's not so overwhelming. But imagine if everybody was empaths, or were empaths. Imagine if people, leaders, teachers, everybody were empathetic. Imagine in war, if people were feeling each other's pain. That may not be even the solution for everybody to be an empath, but imagine if people had more empathy. Empath or not, imagine if people had more empathy, more love, as you're saying. Some people are like, we need to know, intuition, spirit is guiding us all the time. We have an inner guide. And sometimes it's you just want to scream it. Guys, don't you realize we all have an inner guide? Don't you realize the power of meditation? Don't you realize the power of nervous system regulation? Oh my God, if everybody had a regulated nervous system, our world would be in a much different place. So do you notice how each one of these messages, just examples, I'm pulling from clients I've had, I'm pulling from my own passions, I'm pulling from things Spirit just gives me, your beautiful comments. If we, all these things are beneficial. If people were to know the power of balancing your masculine and feminine energy. I had a client that was so passionate about the healing frequency of water, and she was obsessed of doing water meditations and putting water out in the full moon and having all these bottles with colors in them and water therapy. She was so passionate. So imagine if people started doing these things. The world needs to be kind to animals and nature, get back to life before people became gluttons of selfishness. Oh my goodness, there is some frickin' truth. That just gave me goosebumps. Yes, that's what I like to extract from people. That's the first place I start with clients. I'm like, okay, where's your potent medicine? The thing that you're if we all were kind to nature and animals and got back to our roots, me and my husband talk about this all the time. If we still worked with nature, and we have so many friends and people that think nature's against you, your body's against you, nature is bad. What are we even talking about? The sun's bad, nature's bad, everything. Yeah, right. Sorry, that's just my personal opinion. I believe though, if we used nature as our medicine, from herbs to being out in nature, letting it ground us, water, plant food, oh my goodness, we would be thriving. To get back to being grateful for each thing we used. Yeah, oh my goodness, each thing from the earth. and the resources. Kind of, it reminds me of how indigenous people would and still do, really blessing the earth, using the entire cedar tree, including weaving it to make a fabric and letting nothing go to waste, and being grateful for the plants, for the wood, for the gratitude. Oh my gosh, you guys are giving me goosebumps. So everybody commenting here, imagine us all in a room helping each other. And one person, you're talking about the power of nature, and we're all listening going like, yeah, you're inspiring me. I want to get out in nature more. I want to, eat plant food more and put my feet on the earth more and be grateful for nature more. And then someone else is talking about the frequency of love and how we can navigate problems. Yeah, that too. And someone else is talking about nutrition. And someone else is talking about gratitude. I'm here talking about manifestation and sharing your gifts. All of this stuff is so good, is so, so good. And it's all right. Like, correct. You guys are right. Of course, gratitude would change the world. The frequency of love, living in line with nature, being grateful for the resources that we're using, being kind to animals, working alongside them. I can't kill anything. A spider, a bug. I do hate mosquitoes, but even wasps. I don't know if you have wasps where you are. I'm sure they're worldwide. I found out they're pollinators. I was like, damn, I was trying to hate you guys. And now I know you're pollinators. Okay, you serve a purpose. Just go over there. But truly living along with, right? So this is our first exercise. And I want you to think about this today, tonight, until tomorrow and ongoing. What are you convinced that we need more of on the planet? So in the workbook, if you decide to grab that, if you officially register, I'll send it to you right after we're done here. It's going to go out in about half an hour. But the prompts are things like, we need more blank on the planet, or we all need to understand blank better. If we all understood or got the power of blank, the world would be a more magical place. Right now, humans need what? Because you were placed here. You were born. I was born in 1983. No shame about age. You were born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, maybe beyond, for a reason. Right now, Earth is going through a crazy time. Right now, humans are more disconnected than ever, more unhealthy than ever, less community, less nurturing, less home units. Everyone's working, everybody's stressed out, everybody's comparing themselves. Who the fuck even knows what social media is doing to us? We're disconnected from our food, all this stuff. I know I'm generally like here to spread magic, but let's be real. The earth needs some help. The humans on the earth need help as well, because if we all disappeared tomorrow, I have a feeling the earth would be fine. But we need help. We are disconnected. We are not in love. We are not connected with animals and nature and gratitude. We're not connected to meditation. Thank you for that. That's so true. The world needs your medicine. And that's why you are here, born when you were. Like right now, if you're alive, whenever you were born, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 2000s, whatever, you're alive right now on purpose, for a purpose. And whether it is your community, your family, your best friends, your kids, whoever it is around you that benefits from your medicine, that's why you're here. And then for those of you like me that have the entrepreneur bug that are like, I don't want to work for anybody else. I want to have freedom in my life, because that's another part of my soul blueprint is freedom. It's a core value. I want to be free to express. I want to be free to make as much income as I want. I want to be free to work when I want. Today's Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to all you. I'm working about half a day and then going to a parade with my family, because that's what we can do when we're entrepreneurs. We make our hours. We make our, expression. If you want to write a book, you get to. If you want to create a blog, if you want to create a podcast, if you want to do card readings, you get to by being an entrepreneur. So that's another thing. But really looking at that burning message within you, that deep knowing inside. If the world spent more time in meditation, as you're saying, it would make a huge difference. Look at the, what's it called? I'm sure you can help with that. The name about the something impact, where all of those monks meditated all together. I think it was a loving kindness or a oneness meditation, and it shifted the vibration of the entire city. Do you remember that? Someone here probably has heard of that. You could look it up, but a whole bunch of monks, it was like New York City or something, because you can measure vibration. There's like scientific tools. And they meditated for like half an hour, but they got like hundreds of people, and it raised the whole vibration of like the town. They've done this. I know Aaron Dowdy online, he does these like meditations where he gets almost like, I think he's got 100,000 or something people at once meditating. And it just makes such a like this beautiful energy of all these different people meditating. So could you imagine what actually would shift if kids were taught to meditate, if families spent a moment before going into the day, if in school they had little mindfulness breaks, and I'm sure some places they do. But so this first exercise is, what are you convinced the planet needs more of? That is the base of your calling. Your passion, the thing that whether you're getting paid to do or not, you still feel the same. Whether you know what program to put out, whether you have clients or not, you still feel the same. So we can have goals, right? Like I have a goal to make this much money. I have a goal to put out a book this year. I have a goal to this and that. That's great. But we also have this deep message inside that has to come through us. It's like you can't almost stay silent about it because you're meant to do it. Studies have been done that prove meditation can cause violent crime decrease. Yeah, it was that one. Yeah, the crime went down like 2% or 10% or something outrageous. Don't quote me on any of that. You should look it up though. It was like a bunch of monks doing, I think it was a oneness meditation. Yeah, so powerful. Yeah, kids would be so well served by daily meditation. It's so true. So this is your message. I want you to start thinking about that. This is exercise 1. And then the next thing we're going to move on to is your unique human gifts. So you as a person, and as I said, if you grab the workbook, there's the Venn diagram of all the things that come together. So for anybody new, you can grab it by looking at my Instagram bio or the link in the show notes below. This is a free event. It's just you sign up to get the workbook and a meditation if you desire. But so in the one, I'll kind of spell it out here, especially for you guys live, you can see my hands. The purpose bubble circle is in the middle. And then all around it, there's 4 around it. So the top one is skills and talents. On the side, it's your passions. On the bottom, it's your lessons. And on the other side, it's your dreams / your dream life. So we'll talk about that. So your purpose, especially when it comes to having a business, to helping the world, to creating freedom and abundance by making an impact from your soul, that's going to come when we combine all of these. So we take your skills and talents, your passions, the lessons you've learned, and your idea of your dream life / what your soul calls for, which we're also going to talk about more tomorrow. And in the middle becomes your magic. The key to your abundance, the key to you spreading the biggest message while you're here on earth. Because no matter how old you are, you came here to spread a huge message. And sometimes it takes some time, because I don't know about you, but like at 12, I wasn't able to spread the message I am now. I definitely was a sensitive human. I still had wisdom in me. But as I age, I have even more to share. I have more grounding. I have more confidence. I have more tools that I've learned. I have more, bravery. You grow and you mature. So even if you're 50 right now, you could start a business tomorrow if you don't already have one. Maybe you've been in business for 10 years and it hasn't been going well. Anything can change when you lock into your purpose and your magnetism. So we're going to look at your human gifts. And I want you to start thinking about, if you have a pen and paper in front of you, even better, I want you to start thinking about what you are naturally good at. And in the workbook, I have a list of probably close to 100 random skills and talents that you could look at it and be like, oh yeah, I do have that. Oh yeah, I do have that. So you can start to build confidence and really look at all of these gifts that you have. Thank you so much, my love. Thank you. I'm so glad it's resonating. I'm so passionate about this. So what are you naturally good at? What do people praise you for? Praise is a weird word, but people are like, oh my gosh, you always know what to say, or you have such a calming vibe, or your voice is amazing, or your Reiki hands. Oh my God, you put your hands on me, my headache is gone. Or the way you describe something, the way you inspire people to eat well. I'm getting so many goosebumps, you guys. It's everybody live. It's this message. It's so freaking important. And it's so important spiritually. That's why I keep getting covered in goosebumps, because my soul is very stoked we're doing this, but my spirit team is very happy to be spreading this message right now. And that's why I'm, doing more in this area of helping soulpreneurs, because it's literally what's going to change the world and your world, your abundance, your freedom, your fulfillment inside by making that impact. Okay. So we're talking about, what are you good at? What are you naturally good at? What do people praise you for? What do you get kudos about? So this exercise is quite simple. And I want you, if you're a go-getter and you really want to give this your all, by tomorrow when we go live again, or as soon as you can, write out 10 things that you feel that you're naturally good at. And it can be anything from cooking to interior design to humor to graphic design. Maybe it's intuition. Maybe it's reading people, like getting a sense of people. Maybe it's interpreting others' dreams. Maybe it's pinpointing core wounds. Maybe it's, something completely different that's not as woo-woo and self-development-y. Maybe you're really good at math or architecture or, justice or eco stuff, whatever it is. What are you naturally good at? Coding, computers, what is it? So I want you to write out about 10 things that you feel you're naturally good at, as random as they are. They don't have to do anything to do with your business, whatever. And then again, if you're really into this, and this will really serve you, it's also really fun, I want you to ask 5 people what they feel that you're naturally good at. And this can be your bestie, this can be your husband or wife or friend, it could be clients you've served, it could really be anybody, but someone that at least knows you enough that they could, be able to say that, not somebody you haven't met before or haven't, connected with. So when you ask 5 people, hey, I'm doing this self-development thing, I'm doing this business program, I'm doing this business thing, and I'd really love to know, what are a couple things that you feel that I'm naturally good at? And I know this will, boost you and your receiving muscle. A lot of people are uncomfortable to receive compliments and kudos and all that, but to be a successful soulpreneur, you got to learn to receive, because it's all about receiving ideas, receiving downloads, receiving kudos, receiving testimonials, receiving money. We gotta get good at receiving, or else we can't be as successful. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're here. So I want you to start to think about that. What are those natural gifts and talents? So that's exercise 2, is what are you naturally good at? The first exercise was, what do you deep down feel the world needs more of? The second is, what are you naturally good at? And the third one is about your skills and your talents. And there's one more exercise today. I know there's a lot, but I really want you, because all of these ones start to point to the same direction. So the third exercise is your skills and your experience. Like, we're talking physical work experience, or life experience, but the next one is more about lessons. So this is more like physically, like, hey, I had a job working with cars and now I'm really good with cars. Or I spent a lot of time in data entry, so I'm really fast at typing. Like, it's that kind of thing. What do you actually have experience, talents, and skills in already? So I have a huge list. I'm just going to read a couple. You can get the workbook for all of it, but maybe it's leadership, maybe it's empathy, maybe it's course creation or digital stuff. Maybe it's your healing abilities, inner child work, your channel, your intuition, your way of teaching or describing things. Maybe it's stage presence. Maybe it's knowledge and herbalism, nutrition, alternative therapies, psychic abilities I mentioned, event planning, yoga instruction, different therapeutic techniques. Maybe you're trauma informed. What talents and skills do you have? It could be friggin' tying knots. Like, we just want to start to look at your skills and talents. And I like to remind everybody too that your natural gifts and talents, some of them are used to help others, and some of them are used to support your success and overall well-being. So I'm really good with computers. I actually was building websites in high school before everybody had websites that were easy. I had to actually learn HTML and all this stuff. I've built websites for lots of previous jobs. I'm really good online, but I don't want to teach people how to build websites. That's not where my soul is woo, but it's really helped me in being an entrepreneur, to be able to whip up a sales page, to be able to navigate tech. So even if you're well, I'm really good at event planning, or that obviously can come into a business, but maybe it's something that seems random, it's still okay. You're a full human, and there's things like jewelry making that I love to do, and I feel like I'm really good at making earrings and stuff, but I'm not, at this point anyways, I'm not selling them. It's just for me. So it doesn't really matter if it's to do with your business yet. We're more just honing in on your skills, your talents. So look at those in the workbook, all the different examples. Maybe it's Reiki, maybe it's chakra balancing, maybe it's music, maybe it's writing, art, conflict resolution. Maybe you have a really good ear, you can hear through. what people are saying. Maybe you're really great with fashion or redecorating, feng shui, something like that. Talking to spirit, understanding, for me, understanding the way life works and understanding the way, like the spiritual experience here is actually easier for me than understanding the human one. I'm working on it. So that is the third exercise, is really looking at your skills and talents. What you're good at. I know forever I was always told that I had a great voice, and in every job I'd pick up the phone like, blah, 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 Talia speaking. They're like, oh my goodness, you have a radio voice. Do you sing? And I actually do sing, but I'm like, yeah, oh, I can tell. And I was told that forever, way before there was a podcast. And I just thought like, oh, that's good. It'll help me get my message out. But then the podcast, when I created that 3 years ago, and then it exploded. And now there's over 200,000 downloads and almost 400 episodes. It's crazy. And people say, I just love listening to you. It's just a natural, I don't know if it's a talent, but it's a natural thing that comes through me that really supports me in my business. I'm not teaching people how to speak. I do teach people how to create successful podcasts, but it's more that it's just naturally within me. Some of your gifts help you help others, and some of your gifts are just within you. They're just within you and will support you in your success. For me, being of service to others is what matters greatly. Yeah, that feeling of being of service. Oh my goodness, that's such an old soul thing. That's what I'm saying is like, by the time we get to be an old soul, which I know you understand, I can tell intuitively, that by the time we get to be an old soul, we find deep fulfillment in helping others. Deep fulfillment. If anybody has kids, I mentioned this earlier, but if anybody has kids and you notice that you do something different than what your parents did and you realize that you broke a generational thing, there is something so fulfilling. When you help somebody in your business through the exact thing you've been through and you get to be a container of service, it's like, whether you pay me or not, it is just as fulfilling. And of course, we need to have a business. If this is what you choose to have as a business, we need to make it a business. It's an actual business. However, the fulfillment piece is there either way. You're helping people for free. You're helping your bestie. You're helping your community, your kids, any rando that needs your help, that reaches out and you actually help them. There is such a feeling of fulfillment. Okay. Kaden, are you here? I actually mentioned you a few minutes ago. I said I was working with a client who has crazy intuitive abilities that as soon as I started connecting with you, I'm like, that you are really intuitive, are you not? Yes, you are. Okay, so quick recap. We're going to go to the last exercise and we're going to start to wrap up. So the first exercise was, what do you feel that the world needs? What is burning? Hey, what's up? What is burning within you? Like, oh my goodness, we had so many beautiful examples live here about how the world needs more compassion. The world needs to live in alignment with the earth, to meditate, to have love, to acknowledge and understand the love frequency. I was talking about empathy. I was talking about, connection to spirit. And mine is always, since the beginning and before I had a business, I want to scream from the rooftops, like, don't you guys realize this reality is malleable? Like, you are never actually stuck or stagnant. I know this is a very long thing to scream from a rooftop, but like, this reality is malleable. You are the deliberate creator. Like, that has been in me for so long that I just wish, I want to shake people, but that's not the way to enlightenment. So instead I mentor them. But I want people to understand how malleable this reality is. I want you to understand the laws of the universe. I want you to understand what you're truly meant for and how spirit is co-creating and supporting you in this journey, and that you're not alone and that you're not stuck and that we are working with energies. And it's so exciting. It's a feeling unlike any other, still putting business side together. Yes, totally. The feeling of helping people and being fulfilled. Absolutely. Me too. I mean, it's always an evolution. And most of us soulpreneurs, we're not business people. I'm great at websites, but I'm not a business person. I don't know marketing. I've learned now, but coming into this, I'm just an intuitive and an empath that knows I'm here to help people. And I've known since I was young that I'm meant for big things and worldwide impact. And then the internet became a thing and I was like, oh my gosh, this is the way to help people all over the world. And I went for it. But did I know anything about a gentle funnel, creating a funnel, or how to magnetize clients, ideal clients, or any of that, how to set my rates. I didn't know any of that. I had to learn it, and it's always evolving. So I definitely hear you. The business side is a whole other beast. That's why I really believe in a simple strategy, a simple aligned strategy based on your skills and talents. So anyway, the first was, what is the message that you deeply feel that the world needs, that you know the world needs? It's not just feel, you know that it would greatly help the world. And then the second one was, what are you naturally good at? The first mini exercise there was to write out 10 things that you feel you're naturally good at, from cooking to humor to interior design to empathy, whatever. Yes, you're feeling that. Love that. So write out 10 things that you're naturally good at. And then if you really want to take this further, ask 5 people who know you what they think you're naturally good at. Just say, hey, I'm doing this business program and I'm really looking to get in my zone of genius. Sometimes there's blind spots we just can't see. So what do you feel that I'm naturally good at, just as a human, and see what comes up. You'll start to notice that there'll be people that say numerous things, or the same thing numerous times. And that starts to be like, okay, that is definitely one of my gifts. And some of them you don't even realize. Other ones you do realize. I remember years ago, I did this, maybe 8 years ago, and a bunch of people that really knew me said humor, because I just love humor. My dad's freaking hilarious. It's one of my love languages. I'm pretty funny. I think I'm funny. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, are you so grateful to live with someone who's so funny? He's like, yeah, and you're so humble too. I'm like, I know, right? I think I'm funny because I have my sense of humor. Anyway, but I realized there was no humor in my business. And all these people were saying humor. And I'm going wow, everything in my business is spirit, blah, 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 really wise, but not humor. And so I started trying to be let's just loosen up a little bit. When I'm recording the podcast, I very minimally edit because sometimes I say ridiculous things. I'm I'm just going to leave that. That's what makes me me. There's always a little joke in there. There's always something, because that's the way I process life, and that's naturally who I am. So so what are you naturally good at? Asking the people around you, what do you think I'm naturally good at? You writing your own. And then your skills and talents and your experience, your physical skills, hard skills, I did that in quote, soft skills, whatever. And in the workbook, if you grab that, I have a ton of them written out. I did a bunch of examples a few minutes ago of different skills you could have, different, things that you're just naturally talented at or good at. Some of them will end up being the key core, gifts that you get out in your business, and some of them will help to support your business. Or humor. My business isn't about teaching people how to be funny, but I am going to be me and be part of that, right? I'm going to express that gift. Or my gift for websites. I'm not teaching anyone how to create a website, but it really helps me in my business. Yeah, I know, right? The unedited podcasts are almost always more fun. Yeah. I always say to my guests, just so you know, unless a kid or a dog comes in or technology crashes, I don't edit this. And they're like, oh, wow. I just want my people to feel like you're sitting there with us, just listening to a cool conversation. I don't want it to sound so scripted and so edited and, anyway. So I'm glad you feel that too. It gives you a real read on people. You being an intuitive, you're also going to feel people more when it's not so chopped up. Right? And then the last exercise 4, this is what we're going to end on today. This is huge. This is huge for soulpreneurs. It's in some ways almost everything. What has life taught you? What are some of the key lessons that you have learned in your life? So if I asked you, what does it feel like your whole life has been about? My whole life has been a big assignment in what? And I want to speak to the empowered part of you, the wise part of you. I'm not talking about it has been suffering, but I'm not saying it's life has just been shitting on me constantly. That's not what I'm talking about. But say Wayne Dyer, if anybody knows Wayne Dyer, he's my main mentor, the first one that found me when I was 14. And his dad walked out on 6 children when he was very young. And he had so much anger and so much hate for his dad up until his mid-30s. He hated him. Wayne himself was drinking a lot, was really unhealthy, wasn't active. His life was just kind of crumbling, even though he was writing self-help books at the time. when he was younger. And it wasn't until he forgave his dad that his whole life turned around and he was able to free himself from the burden. So he hated him. But even through that, and even more so after he forgave, he always said in his books that my dad walking out taught me self-reliance. And that was the first thing he actually taught because he was a psychology professor, and he taught self-reliance and self-development, spiritual work around being self-reliant. And then it changed and morphed into much more spiritual and manifestation, all that. But he saw that even though his dad walked out, it taught him how to be incredibly self-reliant. He was, got a job when he was young. He was mowing people's lawns. He was making money when he was a kid in an orphanage. And he was a little entrepreneur from the beginning. And he said, if I didn't have a dad that walked out and a mom that gave us up because she couldn't handle all the kids at once, I wouldn't have been so driven. I wouldn't have been that. So that is by the time you're a soulpreneur, by the time you're here to help people, you've been through some self-growth. So it's really time to look at what have the key lessons been in your life. And I know for me, my ultimate soul lesson that I'm aware of is loving myself, but it's healing the abandonment wound. So the opposite of abandonment is learning how to never abandon myself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, ever again. So my eating disorder was all self-abandonment. My self-hate, my lack of confidence. I used to self-harm in more ways than just the eating disorder, excessive drinking, addiction, really low self-esteem from the very beginning was from an abandonment wound. And so my biggest lesson has been never abandoning myself again and reconciling and healing that wound. And it came from, people very close to me in my life that let me down, that abandoned me physically, emotionally, bullied numerous times. Friends turned against me. I had all this drama when I was younger, and it always was abandonment. So either I go through my life never trusting anyone, never letting anybody in, being a lone wolf, or I learn how to reverse that and realize my life is one huge lesson in that. And it's self-love. It's deeply loving and honoring my needs. Never abandoning myself. When I would restrict food, abandoning myself. When I would shit on myself or be hard on myself or talk mean to myself, self-abandonment. When I wouldn't drink water because I didn't want to stop because I was doing something else. I was working and that was more important, self-abandonment. Neglecting my body, self-abandonment. Forgetting to work out, supplements, whatever, self-abandonment. And I don't ridicule or accuse myself. I just witnessed, right? Whether I'm ignoring my truth, whether I'm ignoring what my body needs, whether I'm ignoring that thing deep down that I know isn't working, I would always self-abandon. And I still am watching that all the time. It's always part of my assignment is Talia, when you get stressed, when I get overwhelmed, I can just shut down. And sometimes my husband's going, what do you need? I'm like, nothing, I'm fine. Self-abandonment. Because actually what I need is 5 minutes alone to recalibrate, to regulate my nervous system, which he would be more than happy to give me. We have kids, so sometimes we have to trade off, but I won't take it because I'm being stubborn. So I'm working on that. My life has been one big lesson in learning how to love myself, which is healing the abandonment wound. So I want to ask you that. You can feel free to share, but it is also vulnerable. So if you're just thinking about it within yourself, that's okay too. That's perfect. But I want you to start to think, what are the key lessons you have learned? Usually there's 5 or less. It might just be one that you can funnel it into. But is it about trusting people? Is it about your intuition? Is it about looking after yourself and loving yourself like it is for me? That's a very common one for old souls because love, as one of you beautiful souls said earlier, love is the frequency. Love is the frequency of source. It's Tao. It's the highest frequency. So self-love is self-source, self-God, self-Tao, self-love. So it's a lot of our biggest lessons, right? Is learning how to love ourselves, learning how to be confident in who we are, in our body, in our ethnicity as we age, in our gifts as a soulpreneur, right? So I want to start to ask that, what has life taught you? What are the big things you've been through? And if you've had a lot of trauma and you've learned how to heal that trauma through inner child work or shadow work or forgiveness work or loving kindness or Ho'oponopono or nervous system regulation, and you've overcome this over and over, or at least moved through it enough. Because I don't know if I've overcome self-love. I kind of look at it like it's going to be the assignment forever. because there's always something, right? It's self-sabotage, it's nurturing. It's like there's always something, not in a bad way, actually in a nurturing way. I'll be nurturing this for the rest of my life, and I definitely won't struggle with it anymore because I have come so far, but it's also something that we're always looking at. Learning to love myself was the hardest thing I had to learn. Yeah. And sometimes that takes a relationship crumbling or feeling like you have nobody or having a rock bottom. Maybe many rock bottoms. Source is just like, come on, many rock bottoms. We often have many rock bottoms. But I want to ask you, what has life taught you? This is part of your medicine of what you are here to offer others. I had a beautiful soul on my podcast a while ago, Will Pye. I think he's got an Instagram, but he's all about gratitude. Will Pye, the gratitude guy, which is awesome if you get that reference. But he was like, when I was interviewing him, he was the least grateful. He was kind of curmudgeonous. He was pissed off at life. He was not even really wanting to be here. And he had a horrible health scare. He ended up being put in a wheelchair. And he thought he was going to die, and it turned everything around for him. And now he's Will Pye, the gratitude guy, because he literally had to learn through almost dying the power of gratitude, as one of you said here, when we're talking about the things that the world needs. It turned his life around. So often it's what you've been through that gives you that medicine. I would say 100% of the time it's what you've been through, just PS, but it takes time to learn that sometimes. But what you have been through has given you your medicine. What you have been through has given you the uniqueness. So to bring it back to the very beginning, how I said, if you were learning how to get out of debt and manifest money from someone who had never been in debt, or you're learning how to find love after 50 with someone who's never been in a relationship and they're only 20, it wouldn't match up. So the shit you've been through, which often leads us to be insecure, we're like, me. I remember forever, I'm like, who's going to listen to me? I've been like in an eating disorder. I was like a stoner. I like was this and that and this. And it's like, actually losing myself had me find myself and my magic. Losing myself gave me the grit, the life experience to actually be able to help others. And I know you get that. You've been through a lot in this life, and you've learned the power of loving yourself, or of regulating your nervous system, or of nature therapy, of nutrition, of holistic wellness. I have a client who's a therapist, and she's all about holistic wellness because her life fell apart because she wasn't looking after her mind, body, and soul. Even though she was a therapist and had all the tools, she was not happy until she learned and really deeply realized that and practiced it. And now, as a licensed therapist, helps her clients to live in a more holistic way, to combine the mind, body, and soul while doing something that's, more traditional. She's putting in her magic. She doesn't say, you know how many therapists are out there? I'm like, yeah, but you know how many therapists are out there teaching what you teach? None of them, because you're the magic medicine. So what has your life taught you? What have you been through? What has your life felt like it's one big lesson in? What have you learned? So your homework for the next couple days is to go through these. I highly recommend grabbing the workbook, as I mentioned, going through these questions. And some of them start to be repetitive, where you really start to see your gifts, your talents, your message. This is the thing that if you already have a business, you need to bring more of it to your business. More of who you actually are, less about what will people buy, what's going to sell, what has the best words. Yes, we create a program, and yes, there's ways to structure or make the title something that is very clear, that people understand. There is loose strategy. Well, there's finite strategy. There is about 20% of it that we need an aligned strategy, which is what I help people with. But it's so much of it is the purpose. Because when your energy is quote unquote right, the world moves in mysterious ways. And when you're aligned with the medicine and the potent message that you're here to share with the world, people come out of the woodwork and can help you. Like, you might meet someone that does graphic design because that's not your zone of genius. Or you might meet someone like me that can blend the energy with the strategy and the purpose to really explode it. You don't have to do it all on your own. But getting that energy right will unlock the rest. It will help everything else go so much more smoothly, and you will attract the people that can help you with the other aspects that you need, because you're aligned. And when you're aligned with your soul and your potent message, the universe is like, whoa, let's help her. Let's help them because they are aligned. Holy crap, let's do this. So as a soulpreneur, you're here to help people, you're here to give people a message. You're also here to create freedom in your own life. Freedom to be expressed, freedom to share your medicine in the way that you want, freedom to scale your business, freedom to expand. Now, there's never a downside to vibrating higher daily, not at all. I'm going through the Quantum Magic program right now, and I'm getting these beautiful seekers to do an energy boost. I have an aura expansion and a vibration upgrade every single day, and this is what I do. And holy crap, the power of expanding your aura, of raising your vibration every day. I swear, like money starts flying from the sky. You like find dimes and someone else, pays you for something. You get a rebate. You're seeing signs everywhere. There's like an eagle that flies over. You're like, what? All I did was raise my vibration. It is the thing, right? So as you get aligned, the rest starts to fall into place. You uncover the right information, you read the right book, you're put in the right portal, and you will be helped along the way. But it takes you becoming into that alignment first. So if anybody wants to go on a 2-week deep dive starting mid-July, it's called the Soulpreneur Mastermind. It's a 14-day, very personal container. Right now, it's only $89 during this event, which is crazy for 2 weeks of deep support. We're going to have trainings, client attraction, purpose, branding. I'm going to do an audit if you would like on your social media or website. I'm just going to help you. If you want that, I would love to help you out with that. But I want you for the next couple of days to just think about this, especially till tomorrow, okay? So what does the world need? What are your natural gifts and talents and skills? And what has life taught you? What has life taught you? Have you learned so far as a human? The medicine that you already share with your bestie, with your friends, people that aren't even paying you, but you are so excited to share. I know that I have this thing, like, because I see the way spirit sees things, I'll be talking to like a mom friend who's like kind of complaining about something, like really nice. She's just off or whatever, really nice human, but like, oh, and this and this and this. And I always find myself going, well, like at least when you do this, it teaches you this. And I'm like, well, like I always notice that I do that. And sometimes I'm like, okay, Talia, just let them talk. Don't always try to put a silver lining on it, because that person's not my client, but I can't help it. I can't help but say to them, like, this thing is actually teaching you patience, or this thing is your kid actually, but I don't want to sound like a know-it-all out in life giving everybody advice, but it's just something that comes naturally. So let's uncover what comes naturally to you. Yeah, I know, right? You're like, yeah, well, it's, it's friggin' raining. I'm like, well, that's why we live in a rainforest. People are like, just like look at me like, it's so annoying. I'm like, but how can you be mad at the rain? Really? Seriously, guys, let's do that. Water's healing. Come on. Okay. I love you lots. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow for day 2. If you want to officially register, get the workbooks, go through it, get the aligned leader ritual, which is such a beautiful, it actually raises your vibration in the aligned leader ritual. You're going to love it. I'm going to give that to you for free if you want to join for free. And if you want to jump into the Soulpreneur Mastermind, I would love to have you. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to send you the workbook any minute, and I'm going to see you tomorrow for day 2. And what we're going to do in day 2 is we're going to go more into the soul's callings. So your desires for your life, the visions you've had in your mind. Like since I was young, I've known I'm going to write books before I even knew what I was going to write a book on. I can see myself on stages. I can see myself hosting retreats like years ago before I was even in the game. So we want to start talking about, maybe it's those big goals like that, or maybe you see yourself spreading a message or collaborating. I've had clients that see themselves like owning a big property where they host retreats or something. So we're going to start getting into the soul's desires, also what your soul craves, like your soul craving freedom, your soul craving impact, your soul craving to be fully expressed, your soul craving to be more nurtured. These things are all going to come in to be part of your success formula in your business, in making an impact and starting to make a bigger impact, more income, more impact in a way that feels really juicy and aligned, that really, really helps the world and makes a difference. Okay, you guys, thank you so much to everybody that chimed in live. I'm putting your names in a draw. Every time you come and participate, your name's going to go in a draw to win a free session where we're going to go deep into, it's called a business boost. If you have a business, we'll go into strategy, we'll go into all the stuff we're talking about and more. And if you don't have a business, I can help you to start to look at what you could do to help people and make a bigger impact. So if you want to get into the draw, just come to these days. Every time you come and participate, I'm putting your name in the draw. And one of you is going to win a business boost session, which I'm really excited about. So I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I honor your time. I honor your energy, and go have a great day. Happy Canada Day to any of you Canadians. I'm going to go out to a parade now. Enjoy yourself, and I will see you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye. Hey, thank you for listening to this episode. It truly means a lot, and I really, really hope that it served you. I invite you to check out the show notes. There's all sorts of action down there, including the Awakening Her daily practice, which is a beautiful daily practice to process your emotions and manifest what it is that you want. In the show notes, you'll also find the Awakening Her Manifesting Apparel store, how to reach me on Instagram and Facebook, as well as some one-to-one opportunities. So make sure to check that out, and I'll see you in the next episode.